We are live.
Wow,
Yay!
here we are. We are
Yes,
actually
we are.
live, ladies and gentlemen. So
Hi,
good to
everyone.
see you. Welcome. Allow me to put down the old keyboard because we had to do a little workaround, and you know what? It worked out just fine.
Yes,
You know,
it did. You worked right around that real fast, Wayne.
we'll just have to retitle this instead of Wayne's Zoom meeting, and so there we are. So, hey, we're at a good spot. Miss Trina, how are you, my dear? So good to see you.
So good to see you. And how are you?
Any better? I don't know if space or time would be able to handle it.
I like that answer.
I don't know. It's like, oh, I don't know. I'm doing exceptionally well. Thank you. And you're looking exceptionally beautiful this day.
Thank you, my friend.
Election day in America, and you always are sparkling. Let me see over here. Are people realizing that we're on? I guess it's theme. Are they? Did our bus driver get pulled over? You know what? You need to tell them to go to the other stream.
Oh, you know what? Hold on a second.
Yeah, that's what's happening here. There's nearly 40 plus people waiting.
Okay,
so
give me a second, Wayne.
Okay. Let's see here. They're not, I don't think they realize that we're live yet.
Okay, well, I'm gonna get them. Give me 1 second. My phone is starting.
Oh, that's right. You need to charge up there. There, Bonnie, you got in. Hi, Bonnie. How you doing? Good to see you. Little delay here. Straggling in. Everybody, come on. Everybody. Yeah, I guess we'll need to.
Had a major technical issue, but I'm okay.
Okay. Robert B says normal is conformity to the narrative being like the mass. Everyone, I'm going to have to tell them. Are you going to tell them, Trina, or should I?
Oh, yeah, you can tell them.
Okay.
Tell everybody else in the other chat to come over.
Let's see. Everyone.
Dead.
Other stream. There we go.
I'm almost there.
Okay.
I'll help you out when I can.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I had a major technical. Camera flew off. I was like, oh boy.
Geesh.
Here we go. Too many cords, Wayne. You know.
That happens all the time.
I know, you get tangled up in your own technology.
Yeah. So it's the truth. So I think here we are. I think everyone is now. Wait a minute. Did I just say that on ours? Oh,
okay.
Wait a minute. I didn't want to do that, but I do want to take.
Because we got 33 watching on this one.
Okay, here we go. This is where I wanted to put that. And let's hit. Didn't that go over there?
Hi, everybody. Sorry, we were having some technical issues.
Folks, it's just how you have to deal. I mean, they're always messing with stuff. You know, that's the thing.
Yes, they are.
There we go. I think everyone will start finding us. They're coming in. So welcome, everybody. As I see myself, it really does bring out this whole thing of time travel because I'm seeing myself doing something that I did 30 seconds ago.
Oh, gotcha.
like yourself. Yeah, it's like, okay. So welcome everyone. Thank you for switching over. What can I say? It's
it's a wacky world.
It is.
What we have to go through to get on live these days.
And you know, it goes in tune to the question that we're asking. What is normal? I mean, you know, because normal would be you just hit that button the way that it normally would. Normally would.
Yes.
So I think Robert V said on the other channel, the other stream that's not streaming, that normal was compliance. I'll just condense it. I think that may be that's a lovely way of looking at that.
That could, that is a lot of foundation to that. Yeah, I think people do think normal is according to societal belief. Yeah, it's compliance for real. Yeah, that's brilliant. True.
Robert V, very good. If you've made it over, 54 are now watching. So welcome
Hi,
everybody.
everybody.
We're going to
Welcome.
speak favor over
Thanks
you.
for finding us.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your patience and tenacity. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I gather no one in here won the Powerball. So, you
We
know,
gotta wait and see.
got to keep on. You know, yeah, they had to delay because of they said security technical issues. So I don't know. Maybe that's the new normal, Trina. I don't know.
You know, it might be. I think a lot of people are having a weird technology and security issues these days.
There's a lot of that. Yeah, that may be the new normal. Bosto to everybody, as you see, wearing the shirt. Trina, I know you got one of them, and
I love
I
my
think Mary
Bosco
Wynn's
shirt.
got one, and Grandpa
Yeah.
Brian.
Yes.
Yeah, they're kind of cool. You know, they really shine at night. I can tell you this because Trina, and everybody else listening, much love. Happy birthday if you got one, and we all be a prospering, you know, and you know, if it rolls over, may the force be with me. And just, you know, that's how it's supposed to be. But so yesterday evening, you know, because the sun is setting now with you know, standard time taking over. And I'm on my deck, and you've seen the deck, you've been up there. And 6 deer come running by. Well, they didn't run by, they actually just walked by. Beautiful, beautiful deer. And you know, it's about to be hunting season here where I'm living at, and it's suddenly we've got deer coming onto our property because there's no hunting here. I won't allow it. And so yeah. So
That's
it's
good.
interesting.
Place.
Yeah, it is. It's a very peaceful place. And actually saw a black squirrel this morning. I've never seen a black one.
I haven't either, I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's going on in your end, my dear?
Had weird weather. It was really cold. It was like kind of snowing in Scottsdale. It was sleet. And then now it's beautiful again. But yeah, we just had a little bit of weather, and you could feel the energy of the elections today in Arizona. You can feel it. So there's a lot of energy stuff happening right now. We got the eclipse going on. There's just so much going on.
Yeah, the blood moon is tonight. I'll be taking pictures of it because, as you know, we got this, and you probably have it out there as well. And I guess it's also depending on where you are, the closeness of the eclipse. I don't know where the path of totality is.
Well, I know we've got, I think, path of totality. We'll be able to see it from here.
Okay, so that's going to be kind of really cool. And you're right, it's election day. And, you know, someone said yesterday on the program that, you know, we create, and subsequently sent a video as well. And it's interesting because us humans, we're really creating a lot of energy. And you know, as I continue on this path, and I continue just to look at things in this realm, that's a lot of psychic energy, in which, Trina, just my point of view, that I believe that there are beings of such a nature that feed off of that.
Oh, Wayne, from the tiniest particle all the way to bigger than the whole sun. So yeah.
Yeah.
All of it. You're absolutely right. The feeders are from the smallest levels all the way to so big and huge you couldn't even fathom.
And then it just gets me into this whole, give me a second here so I get this back. This whole thing that humans, us, I guess we're humans. I mean, that's what they tell us, right?
Yeah. Hues of man. I think.
Hues, and then there's all sorts of it, you know. And then if you look at the anthropology record, we know that sapiens are just one genus of Homo, man. That man is not defined by merely a bipedal creature that has upright and a cranium. If you extract it backwards, man could have a meaning totally different than what we see it today.
Right, because why wouldn't even it, I mean, people have all the discussions about the Pleiadians and how much they look like we do, but they're even prettier and taller. And, so it's like, yeah, there's probably so many species of man. And a lot of that's based on probably your body is formed based on the planet it's formed on. So I think that would be the differences of man within the species of man.
Yeah, I think man could live or exist in a realm that, for instance, if you didn't have gravity at a certain pull and strength, and you also had a different atmosphere, they say that we're about to be told that there is structures on Venus. I read this about 6 years ago when I was into the Nibiru thing that, the one planet that we can't seem to get or have craft go to until recently was Venus. Many say that there is life there, but it's in the clouds.
Yeah.
I mean, and maybe it's the same way here as well. If we're not running this show, then somebody else is.
I think too, which is so interesting when you mentioned Venus and how we've never been able to get there. It's so funny because I see us as multidimensional beings. You probably have an avatar on Venus. You probably have one on every single one of the planets because you hold the planets within your body. So there's a connection to that. So, and on Venus, you're known for the feline beings, the lion and the lioness. So this
over
is
on the
lion symbology in this world. It's the remembrance of the part of us that's probably living now or has had a common incarnation on Venus.
Yeah, I was thinking that I think it's over on the Thunderbolts channel that and I bought the video. What was it? The Alien Sky. And in there, the guy who does the narration is Peter Coyote, and really cool dude as he's narrating this. But the point is that there is records of man or someone that was here of reporting that Venus was not a planet. That back in the day when we had our twin, which depending if you believe the lore or not, but we know that the asteroid belt is there. That was a planet. I mean, that's how that got there. Was it Tiamat? I don't know. Could be, but that Venus came in as a comet.
Beautiful.
And that's why it has the oddity of its structure as from the rest of the planets here.
Wow. And think about this too. It was the injection of love and beauty into a draconian reptilian star system. Wow. Wow.
Well, if you step that further in that same documentary, and you guys can see it on, and it's on YouTube, I believe, that we were at one time in, and I always think of it this way, it's odd, but I call it into the womb of Saturn, that we were pulled in here to this star system, because if you look at the planets, it was almost like we were, it was like a traffic wreck about to happen, that the beings that were here lived in the light of Saturn, which they called the golden light.
Yeah.
Which we get our mythology of the golden era, the time of the Olympians, the Titans, etc. I don't know. And they said that
I think there is so much, there has to be so much to this because it's in so much the ancient writings. It has to be, there has to be something to it. And even if it's in all these different writings from different places of the world, so that means it was a global consciousness. It wasn't just on one area or one part of the world. It was coming from all over. So there has to be some strong basis of truth to this.
somewhere.
I also too, it's the Lord of the Rings. Every time Saturn comes to my consciousness,
Yeah. And
what
look
I
where Saturn holds today,
yeah,
the in Mecca, the cube,
yeah,
supposedly Saturn.
yeah, and black robes and justice system.
Yeah.
So much. It goes on and on. Water boards placed on our head when we graduate from the indoctrinations. It's profound. It's everywhere. It's all around us. But
And
now
then
we're
I
starting
think,
to identify it.
yeah, and
Mhm.
I think of the Anunnaki, the story that, with, going back to the Sumerian folklore, that, they came here and that's how we came, the gold thing. But, then again, we now know we've increased in knowledge in one aspect, that if you have a body that has developed in this planet, let's say, um, the odds are very much against you that you're going to find another planet like this one anywhere close.
I don't think it's possible. I think planets are like people. There's no two the same.
So that would imply that if there are beings of what we would call outer Earth, I always question, how could they survive? I mean, did they have the same oxygen, nitrogen, combination? Did carbon monoxide, how much of that? And when you think about that, I'm going, but yeah, I mean,
That's why I think the body forms according to the planet that you're born upon.
now would the soul follow that?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. That's the
And the
recording device of all the lifetimes, all the incarnations. The soul is 12 dimensional at least. So
So
that
you're
part of
saying that the soul would be present in this realm, but also present in another reiteration of,
yes.
because it really brings up, and the passage that I was referring to yesterday, folks, as I ended the show, it said that Adam's soul lifted from his body.
Mm-hmm.
Which implies then that that's deep, because even if you look at it as, the Apocrypha, the so-called made up books, I think they were all made up, but it's interesting that it lifted off, and that's what it said, it lifted off of the body.
Yeah.
Wow, that
Yeah. The
implies,
body is
what do
just
you see when you hear that?
the body's a sleeve, and the soul and the spirit are possessing the sleeve. When you drop the body, the possession of the body is no longer required. So the essence that animates it returns back to its origins.
That would then imply, Trina, that there is something of great value for a soul, a spirit, to be in possession of its own body.
Yes.
It also suggests that there are other beings that would covet that, and that's where you get the story of demonic possession.
This is the tricky bad part about this whole situation, Wade, is when you take on the sleeve, this body is built from this Earth solar system construct. So you literally, to take on this body in Earth, you're taking on the whole universal construct. So the universe is within you. So that is what you gain when you come into an Earth body. When you go into different systems, you gain the wisdom of those systems. That's what the body is for. It's a transfer of data from physical to spiritual. The soul is the only thing that can do that, because the soul is the part of you that's immortal, because it's connected to the spirit. The spirit animates the soul. So the soul can be destroyed and gotten rid of, but you would lose all of the memory. There would be no more you. So that's what I see. And that makes so much sense to me. And the more I've investigated it, and it seems to be, for my consciousness, that's where I'm at right now.
And it's fascinating for me, because, when I listen to you and I see others when they comment on that, it's adding to my knowledge.
Yeah.
But it still draws me back into this fact that All right, because I come from, a theological doctrine that was the Bible.
Yeah.
And I'm those now who are on the outside, which we really present a growing majority. There's many people who are leaving that religion. And we're here, and as we study, so the soul, let's just keep that as our point. So for me, when I look at, for instance, I've referred this many times, Genesis 1:26, we're talking about us, humans, hues of man. We know that reiteration of man did not have what is called a soul. Now, I don't know if maybe it had something equivalent to it, but what we do know, after the Earth was hit by what we suspect was probably a comet, wiped everything out, here is this group of beings called, the Elohim. They come back into the scene. Now, this time, the creation or reiteration of man, it says that this being breathed its breath into this form, and suddenly now it had a living soul.
Yep, it woke up and it could rise. It stand up. They
So
couldn't get it to stand up. Yeah.
But
right.
what about though the 126 people? They're actually called the Blackhead people, and it's interesting what we know of them. If you read through the Epic of Gilgamesh, that and it even says in the book of Genesis that they had no fault. There was no fault found in them. Okay.
I wonder if they were just full on artificial intelligence.
Well, I don't think artificial intelligence. What I think is that these were truly what we were. I mean, at least
the light body part of
they were they were the light people. They are the ones.
Yeah.
They had the ability.
I think you're absolutely right, because I think that's the man. That's man. The light
and we don't have any records of them. At least none that the Vatican let out over thousands of years. We just don't, but we know
but still, even part of me, Wayne, like I've looked at that too a lot, and I wonder sometimes. You hear a lot about the shining ones and the light bodies and the light beings. Some of them also too, we must know they're going to express on both levels. There's going to be ones that are literally wanting to feed, and there's going to be ones literally willing to emanate and send you light and love. So there's going to be both on both sides. So it's tricky. It's always tricky when you're playing with light. Which light are you looking at? And it's
interesting. As you're talking, I'm getting these images. So today we live in the matrix that there are evil spirits and there's good spirits, and then there's us spirits. I'm not sure if spirits are of all human base. Apparently not. But it gives me pause when you were talking about that okay, that then defines, this gets complicated. It gets very complicated. Because let's say that there are Palladians. Let's say that, there are other races, I guess, from other, would you say, realms?
Yes.
I mean, if they're not in this galaxy, that blows my mind. How in the world you travel between galaxies unless you got that wormhole? But all right, let's just go with that. So again, we seem to be the main menu. We're on the menu because all these beings, Trina, they seem to feed off of us.
I think they evolve through us because we're the only part of it that's eternal and immortal.
Well, what if the good spirits, or maybe let's say I see, because I can't get, if you were found without fault, I think that comes about as close to perfection as one could get or hope to. So you were found without fault, and then there was this catastrophe that hit our planet. Wow. So and it's interesting because we know there in Turkey and Göbekli Tepe that they have the monoliths, the pictures, the stones that were buried. They buried them because they knew that this comet was going to hit the Earth. Wow.
Yep.
So a perfect race of beings suddenly, I don't know, vaporized. I don't know. They obviously met their demise.
Yeah.
What kind of spirit would that be then? I mean, they didn't have a soul, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So they wouldn't be held bound to this place, would they?
No. Well,
Wow.
no, but yes, because whatever the material nature construct has that template to reproduce that species time and time and time again. So I think it would reanimate, but it would have no awareness of ever animating before that moment. It doesn't have a conscious connective stream, but the template energetically to form the matter on this material realm is obviously here, or it couldn't exist here. So it's part of this template of Earth. That's, I mean, you get the templates of everything in this place when you come into this Earth. You become all of it. You get all of it in your. It's all encoded in you, and that's valuable. That's why they say Earth is very valuable, because this is a very vast library of creation in this part of the quadrant of what I see as this part of the cosmos, because I see cosmos is filled with universes, and within universes are multiverses of dimensional realities. It's so big it snaps my brain sideways. I can't even go there. But
I
it's
think
just
Stan Lee
huge.
had at best its realms. That's the
It
whole
is.
thing about the Asgards, that
It is.
they
That's
were
correct.
the overseers of the 9 realms.
And those are all based on vibration and consciousness. You can access all of the 12 dimensions right here, right now within your own consciousness. All it is a vibration. People don't realize that when they have a supernatural or a spiritual experience, that's already operating full on in the 5th realm, 5D, 6D,
Mm-hmm.
7D, sometimes all the way up to 13. So divine feminine direct experiences with her as God and everything, that's 13th level dimensional reality. You're in it. We don't realize how easy we do these things naturally.
This mystery school that I'm enrolling in, one of the courses deals, it takes you inside to really, and I haven't seen the material yet, haven't got it, but it drew my interest immediately, because it's we have to be in a realm, and it's very obvious that we have been told that the dead can't commune with the living, and the living can't commune with the dead. That's not true at all.
Not at all.
It's just the opposite. But if you like, I like how you said, if we're asleep to that reality, we're never going to test it. Well, in fact, we wouldn't even know about it.
You don't know. That's exactly it. You don't know. It's really, that's what they mean to say when you're asleep. It's not that they just don't know. They really don't know. Honest,
Yeah.
they don't know.
Wow. I
Even the
mean,
higher realms. I'm now, like, I'm one of the ones that's popping reality bubbles in the higher consciousness, because they ask me questions and I'm like, don't you understand? You're still within this construct. You're still within the mind matrix. Don't you see? So they're starting to understand this. And it's because of what we're doing here, which is the most profound thing.
well, I think,
It's so crazy.
if and my perspective has continued to grow and change, that if all right, if you're channeling, excuse me, then you're communing with not the living. If you've been inspired to write a book, a gospel, an epistle, and you're proclaiming that this is the voice of this unseen being, well, is that unseen being alive, or is it dead? Would it be considered dead? Well, it's not alive here, so it would be considered dead. So then it shows that communing with the dead, quote unquote, should be very normal for us.
That's the thing, Wayne. We do it all the time because of what we are as a human. Within our bodies and our connection to soul spirit, that's the Trinity. the trinity of this existence. It's, body, mind, and spirit. You have the 3 levels of you, but those 3 levels of you are connected to the entire universal template. So you have access to everything within this entire, first of all, solar system, and then universe. Outside of that, with all the galaxies that sit within that, that's part of your book now, part of your code, part of what you are. So you can not only communicate with the dead, in all actuality, that I think we're dead, they're living, because we die, they don't. So for me, it's backwards. I see them as the living, and I see us as pretty much the walking dead, because these bodies will drop. It's a temporary thing. They're in the realms of, you could stay there for a really long time. So I kind of see it backwards that way, but you have access to all of their consciousness through the collectiveness of us, because that's where the whole we are one thing. That's why you really want to grasp that concept, because when you truly understand that we are one, that means you have access to every memory, every consciousness, every experience of anybody that you wanted to inquire about. You could have access to that.
Yeah.
You do have that power.
I'm just reading some of the comments, and Red Herring Media, and she says, I just like to keep it simple because it is complex. I think it's very complex. We don't know. I mean, I in the people who used to know me, when I was, a turned on minister of, the gospel of Jesus Christ, they are, well, they abhor the idea that I have made such a radical shift in not only my life, but my perspective, my spirituality, because I was a very gifted, man of the gospel. I mean, miracles, laying hands on people, healing, casting out demons. And again, I tried to tell them that I said, you just don't understand. It was initiation that we were going through. There is no central being. If there is such a being, then what we're dealing with, in other words, if you've died a physical death, then you have been somehow miraculously resurrected. You're no longer the living again. What you are the resurrected dead. Well, okay, so every religion in essence is worshiping the dead.
Pretty much. But they don't know.
Yeah, that's just it. They don't know.
No.
And then they see, when they see you,
then
they're like, what happened to you?
Right. And then they're worshiping a God that looks like us. We're as man, you don't even know what you look like as man. There's so many versions of man. So that God would look like this version on earth of a being, that's silly. That's silly. It's really silly when you see what this God thing creates, and you see how big it is. When you truly understand God, you do see God inside you, because you can see that your body is a representation of the expression of that intelligence, and what's driving it, the invisible part. Now that's the part, that's the magic, and you can't see that part. And I would get so frustrated with all of this. And, the consciousness of creation, which I call God, that universal consciousness was like, I told you, keep it simple, stupid.
When Lilith,
you don't know how your digestion works.
No, you don't.
It does. Just trust that it works. Get what you want. Don't worry about how it works. Just get what you want done. Manifest what you want. But don't worry about the details, because that will catch you up. You can't comprehend how smart just the intelligence in your body is. And if you kind of start to understand that, you kind of get to know God intimately.
And God, again, just for for clarification, when I was doing a lot of work with Lilith, she explained it very simply. She said it's consciousness. And that's what I have adapted in my life, is giving gratitude for that which created my consciousness. Now, is it a separate consciousness? I think it is. It's unique to itself. I mean, I think it transcends the physical.
That's the soul.
I carry that genetic code no matter where I go.
That's your soul, Wayne.
Yeah.
That's your soul. That's why your soul is a sun.
And so if Adam's soul lifted from his body, that is like we get full circle in the conversation, is that these souls have the ability to physically, it's not just where we reside in our consciousness, but we actually envelop this whole construct, this mass. Yes. And it's even in our palms that tells us we're uniquely different, or that we have signs that identify with others who have similar signs, which tells me we're more tribal in our existence than what we realize. I believe that there are consciousnesses that will, in the ethereal, are drawn together. Absolutely. Because of that.
Absolutely. Remember, I told you, you will get what you think and you will be drawn to it like a magnet. Wayne, that's absolutely what I see. I see that. I've seen that so many times, so many different ways. They're like, be careful what you think about when you get to your spiritual body, because there's no delay.
Yeah.
You will get what you think about. You will instantly manifest it, or it will come to you instantly. It's boom. There's no time window of delay for that. You really need to learn how to control your thoughts and feelings, because the more emotion you hold, the more powerful it's going to show up. It's really incredible.
Well, one of the things that someone made the comment, isn't, walking in cemeteries is kind of creepy, little weird. And it's not. It's quite the opposite, because if the eventuality is that this is where we all catch the train, so to speak, my feeling is that if you become comfortable with walking amongst those who once walked as we do, your reception on the other side is going to be far more grander than a person who's going to be looking at death. And in Lynn, who works around death all the time, in her many decades, as she has learned, there's basically kind of two approaches that people find in death. You find those who have an utter fear, a terror, in which, in those kind of cases, you have to literally sedate them.
Absolutely.
Then you have the others, I guess there would be three, who, as she says, it's not that they succumb, it's an acceptance.
They're at peace.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm good. It's all good. Yeah. I'm ready to go.
And then she says the other, and we talked about this before with Don Knotts. There are those who, wow, they laugh. They have an excitement, a joy. Like, let me get the F out of here, man. I got places to go. I ain't got time for this. Hey, I had a great time, but y'all can kiss my ass because I'm heading on over there,
Right. And Wayne, think about it. Religion tells us that we have a choice. We all go heaven or hell. That's what our choices are. Some believe that there's a purgatory, whatever. So basically, it's about choices. So basically, don't accept a choice. Manifest what you want to see, because you do have that power. That is what you are, your consciousness. So when you realize that you've dropped your body, think about the best thing you could ever imagine, with so much joy, all of the magic, all the wonder, all of the wisdom and the love and all the wonderful things you could imagine. Go on overdrive, focus on it, think about it, see it, and see where you land. Because I don't care where you go, you're going to end up somewhere really good.
I like to address Red Herring Media. She said, I find it odd that you would have paranormal ghost activity in a cemetery because they've departed. No, actually, it's amazing to me how many linger. I'm convinced that there are many who are trapped in between the realms, time itself, that they're lost. And we know this because many of us who have the equipment into the paranormal, there are many times we come across spirits who are lost. That's why they're asking for help. They don't understand, and they passed over regrettably with just finite knowledge, Trina, and that's where they're trapped.
Yeah.
Many of us think that we have the ability to help them, let them know that that they are in fact stuck, and that the living. In fact, there was an article recently, and of all places, out of Catholic magazine that I was reading, why praying for the dead is so important. Because there are many who are, in fact, trapped.
Yeah. You know, I do that work sometimes. And through my practice, I've seen a beautiful thing. A lot of what I would dream about when I was younger was soul retrievals. And it was kind of a battle to get these souls to move to higher levels. And I started to realize that if I would show them my light and show them that they had a light inside of them, it was to, and then show them to expand that light. Not only could I usually transform one, I could transform all the other ones that were around watching, because they would be like, whoa, do I have that too? And they would look and it'd be like, bam. And it was, and you're not doing it, they're doing it. And this is also important too, because I think when you ascend or when you heal or any of these things truly happen at the deepest level, it's because you've chosen for it to happen. And so that's been a magical tool.
Here's a little thought I'll throw into that mix, is that there are beings that exist in these in-between realms. And if you get stuck in there, you're basically food for the fodder here, because they want to make sure that you stay stuck. Because if you're generating fear, after your departure here, you're generating an energy that they're feeding off of.
You're right. Well, I saw those. Maria just told you I helped 2 little children cross over the day before Halloween, actually. And they have been in the store for many, 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 many years. And people have investigated it. They have evidence of it. It's well known. And that was what it seemed like. It seemed like there were definitely 2 energies keeping them stuck there.
Children, I think very much so. I mean,
and as soon as I told them, I said, you have an option. You can go and look at different options. I said, because when you drop your body here, you're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to go home. Then I said, where is that home for you? What does home look like for you? I says, but you can travel through your light. And I showed them their light. And as soon as I did that, the tunnel opened on its own and off they went. So, it's like, so much of this is so easy and we've made it so complicated, and it's really not. But I really do see a huge shift in trying to force things or make people cross over or do all this stuff. It seems to me that might have been a bad way to go about it. I think the biggest revolution I've learned through all of this was to see the power in when you can convince them to do it themselves. It's profound.
We're obviously having some interesting comments in the
I'm sure this is a
chat room, and it has a lot of people, because you're going to face it. And
guaranteed.
Bonnie, I'm kind of surprised in your comment, but listen, it's that's why I study in the understanding of this. I've seen enough of what this realm does, what it does for us in the aspect of what's being manifest. And if we're not the ones manifesting this, then something else is.
That's
and
right.
if there is something else manifesting what we're seeing take place, then you would be very foolish to ignore this and think that this doesn't have foundation in the next realm. I mean, it's obvious that there is something, and it's like someone wrote me and said, you got me thinking about this whole thing about evil. And now this person, and I guess it was one of those epiphanies, the individual just said, you've changed my whole perspective, because now I'm asking myself, so what is evil? If it's human, then we've done it ourselves.
Correct. We manifested it.
If it's not, then it's an alien takeover.
Which is both, I think. I think both answers are correct.
I'm going to check something out right quick, Trina. So I'll let you carry on this conversation.
Okay.
Hold on.
Well, I'll have some fun I can talk to you guys about, which is the power of the full moon, because we got this eclipse today, and it's been laid upon my heart like over and over and over again. It's like, create now. It's so important right now. Dream, because they're trying to set the script in place. So the best way to fight against that is to feel something better and see a better vision with your own imagination. So I was looking at moon cards this morning. It's like, what is a full moon? And the full moon card is surrender to the divine. And I think that's a great thing to focus at today, is surrendering into the divine, the divinity that is you. And then specifically, the full moon in Taurus is your dreams need a practical plan. And that's what I kept hearing. Focus on a dream. Pick your dream, your world. How does the world become what you want it to be? How do you see that for yourself? And manifest that. Put a practical plan into place. Maybe write a list and put down different bullet points of what your good world would look like. What is the best world you could see look like? And then it says full moon eclipses. Conclusions are within reach. So that's the potential of the full moon eclipse. Means everything that we're focusing on right now and building, it will help us reach conclusions for answers to questions maybe we've been stuck on for a while, like how do we make things better? How do we get things to change? That might be a beautiful window of manifestation. Hi, Wendy.
And it is. It's a powerful time. If you've got crystals, this is the time to put them out there. I mean, you got amulets, put them out there. It's I'm putting Sanji out there, and this is powerful stuff.
It is.
It is great for recreating. So thank you for hosting that, Trina. I should let you do that when I am not here, because like tomorrow I won't be. I'll be painting.
I gotta work, my friend.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I got to. So many people out there. Trina.
I love you guys.
Off the hook. I'm seeing the comments on there. This is a great group. A confounded moon.
It's full moon energy. What do the cards say about it? I thought that would be interesting. So I did. I looked at that this morning. I was like, what does it say about a full moon? What does it say about an eclipse? And I was like, and that was what I kept hearing. It was like, right now, manifest a plan. Get a plan. Imagine what you want to see. Like, we have elections happening. Really focus on what you want to see happen. Just see that over and over and over again. Don't let anything else enter into your consciousness. Just focus on what you want to see. Do that. That's the best thing you could do. Just do that. So whatever you want to see, feel it, see it, focus on it, and we'll start getting some headway with this, guys. I know we will, because once we realize we can manifest really reality, if enough of us start doing it, it'll happen. It definitely will happen. And I think that is the shift to 5D. It's not going to be going to a potentially different place. It's going to be a shift of consciousness, which will literally transform the material world around us. And that just makes more sense to me on a quantum level. So I think that might be more what we're looking at. Wayne, are you still gone? I think you are, huh? Ah, there you are.
There I am. I'm back.
Are you back? Okay.
Yeah. It's a lot going on. It's just it's kind of like the energy.
Eclipse and all the powerful
I'm telling you.
Things are moving.
I wonder what the let's see what our Polterscript device will say.
Oh, fun. This should be very interesting.
Yes. Let's see.
Okay. Bring them in.
Hello. Here we go. Let's see.
Thank you for joining.
Yes, and they are the spirits. This full spectrum camera has been interesting. Go. Okay.
Go.
Thick. Tape. Case.
Well, it's not as active as it was last week.
What did it just say?
Case.
Case?
Yes. C-A-S-E.
Case. That's interesting because we carry very important things in briefcases.
Yes, we do. Okay. It's not a sound. It's odd. It just
I have a feeling it's building the frequencies to put the words in the box. I just saw that. So I have a feeling it's going to be there pretty quick.
Eat.
Wood.
Wood. Wood.
I can see a lot of you can actually see it. Let's see.
3.
This is what it looks like.
Wow.
Panel. Contrition. Ray.
Wow.
Copper.
Wow.
Sunday. Planes. Club. Complete. Used. Trust.
Crust.
For. Violent. Rates. 3. Measure. Long. Terms. Thermal. Paranormal. Truck. Wild. But. Shining.
Shine.
Smooth. Burst. Opposite. Noise. Grass.
Well, it's just got all
38 years.
Oh, remember last time it said 36 years.
Yeah.
Share. Knit. Kurt. 81 years.
I have no idea what that means.
Wow.
Maurice.
M-O-R-E-S. That's odd.
Moray.
Explain.
Well,
Compound. Gentle. Orange. Watch. Rise. Factories.
it's just this device.
Use.
That
There's
is
that.
interesting.
Yeah.
Theme. Step. Or. Harry.
One person wrote, and it's true, that
Few.
there are more than just one
Anger.
spirit that hangs around in space. And anger, here's one that.
Beside.
So this is why you get the
Shadow.
words. And all they're doing is
Floor.
transmitting the electrical signal that's coming into this. They're the ghost.
Yes, words.
Adultery.
Adultery.
Island.
That's interesting.
Prepared. On. Secret.
Okay.
Interesting.
38 years.
Again. Interesting.
Tell. Friday. Clockwise. Or. Action. Race. None.
Okay.
Gale.
It's different.
Wow. That's very
Anyway,
that thing
who
was
knows?
very
And that's why it does that, folks. Someone wrote and said, well, that's just nonsense. Listen, I don't know how, it's the words, there's radio waves and microwaves all around us, energy waves, and language is, I'm almost beginning to think on the other side, do we continue to use language? How do we communicate? I mean, what alphabet, what, mannerisms? It's interesting.
To me, it's all telepathic.
I think it is too. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so much
like a universal translator.
It's way bigger than that, because not only do you see it, you can literally, if you're confused about something, all you have to do is like say, I don't understand that, and they'll show you their memory of it. Like you can, so it's through pictures and symbols and vibration and feeling, but it's so much more comprehensive than using a language, especially if you have a language barrier, like people trying to communicate with different languages. It's almost impossible. But there doesn't matter what language you speak. It's all.
Scotty says there is sense and there is nonsense.
Yeah.
Nonsense meaning, I get it. It's cool. Not nonsense. The spirits use what they are able. If there is more than one, it's a few conversations. Lucky Stone, you are absolutely right, my friend.
Yeah.
That is exactly what's happening. And I'll leave it on sometimes in a room, and we've got an intercom in here. And so there's no one else in there, no other electrical interference. And there are times where I swear there are conversations being taken place, but not here.
Yes, I bet you're right, Wayne.
I mean, and I think a lot of times that's what we're hearing as well, is that there's communication going on. We're just dropping in on the conversation.
Yes. You know what's interesting though, but I just heard that there's somebody listening, or it wouldn't have brought forth on the box. So there is somebody in there.
I think so.
Bringing that conversation to the box. I don't know if that's right, but that's literally what
I mean, that's what I've come to find out. It's like, okay, I can dig that. I mean,
the puppy, like I saw the dog.
What you think if you're in a bar, a crowded bar, you're going to hear 1,000 conversations, but you're not going to be able really to understand the context of any of them. Yeah. Wow. That just came to me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Elvis says, still in the room. He says, if you can keep the device and video recording in the room when nobody's there. Yeah, I could easily do that. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what's so strange?
I can actually set that up with the full spectrum camera.
Yep. Wayne, like one time I was trying to understand like dimensions, and literally they showed me like all the dimensions stacked within a 3-foot space in the same space we're in. It's all just based on consciousness.
Now there I am in full spectrum.
Oh,
is that weird, isn't it?
Red.
It's
violet. Like it's pretty.
Yeah.
Different color. Yeah,
different color all the way around.
Representation of the third eye and the crown chakra, and you're seeing through spiritual lenses when you're looking at that. That's very interesting because it matches the ray. Interesting.
And it's odd. There is. Yeah, you can see in this that we ain't alone in here. That's all I got to say.
Wayne, I was a little kid, and it was hard. I knew there was stuff around all the time.
Yeah.
And not just a little bit. There was a lot going on. And not just with humans. There's animal spirits too. And
I think there are.
There are. So I used to see them. I saw a cow one time. I was like, it was a skeleton cow. I was like, well, that's stupid. I don't even understand that.
That's odd.
I didn't get it. I was like, why do I even see that? That's stupid.
That's
I was
odd.
like, I don't like that at all. I was like, I don't want to see that no more. No. Yeah, like I said, I saw all kinds of different stuff when I was a kid, and I didn't know how to make
We all
sense
did. And it's amazing. And they teach us that you're supposed to put that away.
No, and it's your greatest superpower.
Exactly.
It's to know that you're a spiritual as well as a physical being.
Jeez,
Superpower. Yeah.
I love this. All right, everybody. Thank you, Trina. Thank you, darling. And thank you all for coming on over, and thank you for the comments, and everybody. We much love you.
We're all learning together.
We are.
Exploring consciousness together and looking outside of what we've been shown so we can make our own decisions about what we are and what creation might be.
I'm still tripping on just the idea.
Right.
So it's like, all right.
You should be, so.
All right, everybody. Much love to you. Be at peace, speak peace today. And hey, if you're into understanding the energy, there's a nice portal opening up tonight. And and if you're in the path of totality, get out there and recharge yourself. Powerful, powerful manifestation time.
Absolutely.
If no one won the Powerball, then I'm saying that I got it on Wednesday. That's what I'm going to manifest.
Right on, Wayne. Do it. Mystery School manifest.
Yeah, there you go. We start that one we're talking about. Joanne Dancing Gypsy, thank you, darling. Haven't seen you in a while. Thank you, Robert V. Much love to you. Go. Thank you, all of y'all. It's this Lady Spitfire. You're welcome. And David Castle, hello. Mary Wins, we love you, darling. Jargo, good. All right, Trina, I'll see you next Tuesday, hon.
Oh, I look forward to it, my friend.
All right, everyone. Have a great